You know, let's just say we even get to 10 billion. We're at $3.83, you know, and that's not a huge, that's, you know, that is a big jump from $500 million to 10 billion, but you can see, let's just say that same 13,888, let's just say that I wanted to sell 3,000 of those, or 38. Let's just say I wanted to keep 10,000 in my long-term back. I want to pull initial investment out at $3.83, right? At a $10 billion market cap. Out of 10, that 3888 tokens at $3.83, that's going to put us at $14,000. So we can already pull out our initial profit there. I'm not factoring in taxes and all that right now, but oh, cool. That's a $12,391 profit, just using this example. And then remember, we still have, you can put that 12,000, put it into a crypto trading bot. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm super excited. I've got a lot of great, juicy information that I know you guys are going to really enjoy. I have multiple hours of deep research into a project, a company that I feel like you will enjoy. So the purpose of this channel and why I'm doing this content is to help as many people as possible realize financial freedom through crypto and the new financial system. So I'm utilizing these tools and I'm going to share my journey with you guys. So digging into certain things that over time, my goal is to be able to find those companies that are going to be around in 2, 3, 10 years that provide massive value, that are building the infrastructure of the new systems that we're in. So I'm looking at things that I can get into now that are 3, 5, 20, 30, 50 cent that I know over the next several years can 20, 30, 50, 100, 500x. And the goal is to find, define 5, 10, 20, 30 of those companies and really find out what is going to last, and then you can determine what are good companies to put your positions into. You know, at least me personally, I'm somebody that, shout out to Kevin Cage, he talks about this a lot. He says, you know, I want to buy an asset that I'm going to hold for 5 years. So with that being said, wanted to discuss Casper. I know there's CasperLabs. If you're new to crypto, you may not have heard about it, and if you are in crypto and you've been around for a while, you probably may have heard about it as well, but it's still relatively small. So I wanted to take some time to discuss and keep real concise what the main takeaway of what Casper is. How is it different than other technologies, other blockchains? And it's actually not even a blockchain, it's a DAG. It's a type of direct acyclic graph. So it's more of like an advancement on just regular blockchain like Ethereum. So we're going to discuss like what that means. And also too, Casper is deeply tied, well, not deeply tied, but it's connected to Ethereum. So it's important to understand like where Ethereum is now and where Casper will be, and how it also like in the future is different. And also too, where I predict the price could be. I see this being a definitely 250 billion, 500 billion, maybe even $1 trillion asset, in 5, 10 years. Who really knows where everything's going to go? So we'll have some price analysis on that as well. But with that being said, digging into what this is and why it's important. What is Casper? Casper is essentially the first blockchain built for enterprise adoption. So I really like these companies that are going after enterprises, because that really is what gets mass adoption more than retail. Like retail investors, they don't look at, obviously I'm a retail investor, but we don't look at some of the deeper metrics and things that big institutional or enterprises look at as far as what is good and what they're going to do to push adoption. So they are definitely making a wave, not only for their technology, but also because of their partnerships. And you'll see right here, CasperLabs, just very recently, a few months ago, they partnered with Amazon AWS. If you don't know who that is, Amazon Web Services gives developers and organizations building on the Casper network the ability to directly deploy node infrastructures and design private networks for product testing straight with AWS. Given AWS's presence in 190 countries, Casper network node operators can now more efficiently deploy and connect nodes to the public network. Smart contract developers can more readily access Casper nodes so they can efficiently navigate products through development. So this is really awesome. They have other partnerships that you can go on their website and look at here if you wanted to get deeper into it, but I wanted to really keep the focus of this video on the massive potential here. And so let's actually discuss, like, why is Casper a big deal? Well, first of all, the big player in this space, as you know, is Ethereum. And you see right now, if we refresh CoinMarketCap, Ethereum, even after this really recent dump here on Bitcoin, you can see that Ethereum, it's really starting to kind of go its own pace and break away from Bitcoin and perform on its own. But everything in business and enterprise is still pegged to Ethereum. Everything uses Ethereum, and so the problem is Ethereum is proof of work, a consensus model which is slower. So some newer technologies, different types of DAGs and things like that, hash graph technology, things are much faster than Ethereum. So these are like considered proof of stake consensus model. So consensus model is just a way that network validates data and reaches like what the correct answer is, like what is the correct 100% correct verification of that data. So with Ethereum, it's super slow right now. So Ethereum is just, there's many benefits to upgrading, and actually Ethereum right now, the big thing is that Ethereum is, because they are so slow, there are advancements now where Ethereum is needing to be upgraded. So you can actually see right now Ethereum, they just recently had some upgrades to the EIP 1559, which essentially just changes how things will be. So Ethereum right now, they're wanting to move to proof of stake from proof of work. So it's like, what actually is proof of work? What is proof of stake? So I wanted to kind of briefly touch on that here. So I got this really cool article that just breaks that down, because it's important to understand this. Like, then you'll see the massive potential. So right now, and we'll see here this article, why do we even need Casper? Before we can look at why Casper is required, it's essential that you have a basic understanding of the differences between proof of work and proof of stake. Ethereum, like Bitcoin and many other popular cryptocurrencies, currently runs on a proof of work consensus mechanism. Under proof of work, network participants known as miners solve cryptographic puzzles in order to validate transactions and create new blocks. While proof of work has been a popular and effective choice for many cryptocurrencies, it's old and it has some important weaknesses. Essentially, proof of work consumes massive amounts of electricity and it makes it extremely inefficient, but it also raises the problem of centralization. So that's why we're seeing some of these newer companies and technologies like proof of stake come along, because essentially people and organizations that can afford faster, more powerful mining equipment have more success, resulting in the bulk of Ethereum mining being concentrated among a small number of mining pools. So as you can see in the graph below, Ethereum mining is dominated by a few select mining pools, and the four largest miners account for a whopping 70% of the Ethereum hash rate. So there's a massive problem. It takes a lot of energy consumption and it's super slow. So proof of stake, and the difference between that and why it's important is proof of stake essentially, instead of a group of workers validating by performing advanced and complicated calculations just to mine for the token, they're essentially, to maintain the network, are staking a portion of their tokens. They're staking it to the network to help operate the network, and their incentive to keep correct and accurate data and prevent it from being incorrect or some other kind of nefarious attempt to take over the network. They're disincentivized because they will lose the stake. You will lose your stake. So it's a totally different model, and it's actually an interesting thing here is let's actually just go back to like who one of their founders is. Because Casper is actually the core protocol of Casper is what Ethereum is moving to right now, to their 2.0. So this is where Ethereum, they're still proof of work. So keep in mind they're still using the slower consensus model. They're using the miner consensus model. So they're actually undergoing that transition to ETH 2.0, which is actually a Casper protocol. So we'll get, but there's two different Casper protocols. There's one called Casper CBC, and then there's another one that the same founders here, you'll see here, his name is Vlad Zamfir. Vlad Zamfir is a lead consensus protocol architect, and he actually was working with Ethereum. So he just has a slightly different model of the Casper. He developed the Casper CBC, and the one that Ethereum is going to be upgrading to is called Casper FFG. They essentially are a different way that they validate data. So, and we'll get on that. We'll touch more, and we'll get deeper into that here in a second. But what's interesting to note is that Ethereum, being as big as they are right now, utilizing a slow and clearly inferior technology. Anybody who's in crypto knows how, like, if you're trying to sometimes even trading Ethereum to get some of these meme coins, the gas fees are exorbitantly expensive. So Casper, they are essentially, they allow Ethereum, when they switch everything over to ETH 2.0, they still will not be as advanced as what CasperLabs CBC protocol is. So we got to think here. Ethereum definitely has a big challenger coming up, because CasperLabs, you'll see a new blockchain startup was announced today called CasperLabs, aiming to build a proof-of-stake blockchain based on the seminal work of Ethereum Foundation researcher Vlad Zamfir. So this guy, Vlad, is what I'm saying. He is the one that is connected, and his core code is actually going to be more superior to what Ethereum will be going to under their upgrade. So once Ethereum makes that transition, whenever that actually transpires, I mean, it should be next year, it still will not be as effective as what CasperLabs will be. And there's several articles. I'll link them in the description of this video. But it's really interesting, because right now Ethereum, being as massive as they are, they still will not be as advanced as what Casper's pure CBC protocol is. They still are using a slower Casper FFG protocol. So it's essentially just not as fast and not as efficient. So it's really cool to be able to get into that and see that once they make that transition, Ethereum, it'll be really interesting to see how other platforms like Casper can keep up to it. But essentially, and like I said, take some time, research, and click the links through in the description. Like I said, I'll link all this in there, and you can do your own research to see what, if you feel like this is going to be a good investment. But you can see here this one article right directly from CasperLabs, and it says right here, when we examine the capabilities available on the Casper network, it's more accurate to compare Casper to Ethereum 3.0. We're leapfrogging right over ETH 2.0 and going straight to the Ethereum 3.0 core feature set. We can do this because we are a new protocol, and we don't have to concern ourselves with contract compatibility as Ethereum must. With billions of dollars locked up on Ethereum, it's responsible for the Ethereum community to be judicious. This is seen all the time in technology. It's called the innovator's dilemma, and that's true. Incumbents can be disrupted from underneath by startups. This is possible because startups can move more quickly, have fewer clients, and make decisions more rapidly. So essentially, it's already there. It's already in a position where they're already ahead of Ethereum. Ethereum's they're playing catch up. They're playing catch up here. Clearly, Ethereum right now, they know that they have problems with the proof of work algorithm. They definitely have, according to this one article on stormgain.com, even though proof of work is a popular algorithm successfully used in many cryptos, it's still relatively old, and it is by crypto industry standards here, with many drawbacks. This resulted in regular criticism of the algorithm. It's very, and the same thing with Bitcoin, you know, energy inefficiency, the high cost of mining equipment. We talked about that. Probability of 51% attack. That just simply means that because it can be centralized. Because it can be centralized, it's not as secure as a proof of stake. It's not as secure. If attackers can accumulate 51% of the hash rate of a proof of work based crypto, they'll have enough power to cancel or change transactions. That's scary. So there are drawbacks with proof of stake, like what Ethereum 2.0 will be, or like what Casper is, but it's an economic consensus protocol based on a security deposit. That means that the nodes that your so-called validators must place a deposit, which the deposit would be in that network's based tokens. That serves the consensus by producing blocks, but it's a lot faster. And actually, the really cool thing with Casper is that it is not just pure blockchain. It is actually considered DAG, which is directed acyclic graph. So what this here, I got this cool little chart here, essentially means is that it can these blocks here, and when it puts new blocks down into the graph, it's much more efficient. It's much faster than just the slow, clunky block by block and the block by block like Ethereum is now. The mining is just so slow. This is way more efficient. So that's another that's for all you visual learners out here. It's a much more efficient way of validating data to know what is right and what is wrong. So they essentially, I think it's really cool that their developer here, the CasperLabs developer, I really think that that's cool that he is essentially, in the earlier days of Ethereum, they're both, you can see right here, Casper CBC, remember that's the one that CasperLabs is based on. It's what is developed in parallel with Casper FFG. You see here, that stands for Friendly Finality Gadget, where the CBD stands for correct by calculation. I think that's what it stands for. Correct me if I'm not. I think I forgot the name fully of what that stood for, but it doesn't really matter. It's a different consensus model, which was created by founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, and researcher Virgil Griffith. The two distinct proof-of-stake models draw heavily on much of the same pioneering research to do with validator reward staking. While both Casper CBC and FFG were discussed within the context of the roadmap for the Ethereum blockchain, the broader community deemed Casper CBC a less production-ready version of proof of stake back in 2017 that could stand to wait until Casper FFG is fully implemented on Ethereum. So the takeaway, as we're 16 minutes into the video, this is important to note. This is important to notice here. Essentially, Ethereum, still not even ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 will be based on the Casper FFG protocol, which is not as advanced as the Casper CBC protocol, which is what CasperLabs is built on. So now you can see here, just kind of wrapped it up. As development for Casper FFG protocol continues on the Ethereum blockchain, Zamfir will also be extending his research on Casper CBC, providing key analysis and review on various aspects of the CBC model, including economics, modalities, key parameters for configuration, and more. They are huge. They are huge. You can read more of these articles in the description below. If you're liking this video, definitely hit the like button. I'm here doing all this research for you so you can sit back, listen to this in your car, listen to this at the gym, listen to this to get away from your wife or girlfriend when they're bothering you and you just want to go make money. Smash the like button because that helps me do this work for you so you can sit here and enjoy it. Because this right here, let's get into some price prediction. This right here, I feel like we're still so small. Like the overall market cap, we're tiny. We're tiny here. I wanted to show you, like, where would Casper be? How big do I think it could be? Right now, we're at $500 million, basically. We're $500 million market cap of Casper right now. So, in the future, I see this being who knows, I see this being $500 billion, $1 trillion in the future. This is one of those things where, what would it be, like, if I bought, let's just say $2,500. Again, this is not financial advice. We're just going to use this as an example. Literally just an example. But let's just say, all right, $2,500. I'm going to take that right now. It's currently 18 cents. All right, how many would I get at 18 cents? All right, cool. I'm going to get 13,888 of them at 18 cents. I mean, that would be where we're at right now. If we're at $500,000, even after what's happened short term. Let's think here in the next 12, 24 months. They've already got the partnership with Amazon AWS. That's a huge company. They get access to AWS's clients, and AWS runs everything. AWS has partnerships with the US military. They're running data for the military. They're running data for private agencies. The AWS literally helps run the internet. So they have great partnerships already. So that half a $500 million in the future could easily be 200 billion, 500 billion. Well, even if Ethereum 2.0 being slow and it's around and it's $1 trillion, networks like Casper at that point, if the overall market is 15, 20, 30, 50 trillion, $200 trillion, where can a network like Casper be? That's already a super advanced technology. That's already enterprise ready. Where could it be? It reasonably could be at $1 trillion. But you know what? I want to get that 13,888 that was originally just $2,500 at 18 cents. I want to take some profit earlier. I don't want to wait 5 years. So let's just see, like, what would we be worth? Right now we're 18 cents. What would we be worth when we get more partnerships and we're like, let's just say we're up to $4 billion. All right, we're $1.46. That's an upside. That's a huge upside of 714% already from where we are right now. But let's just keep going, because these aren't really big numbers. These aren't really that big of numbers. And you can see total supply right now is 10 billion for Casper. And Ethereum is a little bit different. Ethereum is 118 million. So their overall supply here, these tokens are not going to get, you're not going to get a $4,000 or $5,000 Casper token value. That would be really, really high. But much smaller than that in the future, it could be several $100s. But even before that, let's just say we even get to 10 billion. We're at $3.83. And that's not a huge. That is a big jump from $500 million to 10 billion. But you can see, let's just say that same 13,888. Let's just say that I wanted to sell 3,000 of those, or 38. Let's just say I wanted to keep 10,000 in my long-term bag. I want to pull initial investment out at $3.83, right? At a $10 billion market cap, I had that 3888 tokens at $3.83. That's going to put us at $14,000. So we can already pull out our initial profit there. I'm not factoring in taxes and all that right now, but oh, cool. That's a $12,391 profit. Just using this example. And then we still have, you can put that 12,000, put it into a crypto trading bot, put it into some passive staking like Time Wonderland or something like that. Like, you can even convert it to USDC and stake it for 10 to 12%. That money you can literally put somewhere else, get your initial back, and now you also still have that $10,000 moon bag, because you know what? 10 billion, that's not where we're stopping. That's not where we're stopping. How much would we be worth now? Let that other 10,000 ride. Let it ride. 94 billion, we're at $34.34. You can see that 34, 35, then times 10,000. This is going to be a nice profit. $343,000. So that's reasonable, very reasonable that we could go from $500 million to 94 billion by 2024, 2025, just a few years. This would be an upside of 189x at just a fifth of the market cap of what Ethereum is. So this is a superior technology, which is already more advanced than what ETH 2.0 will be, to be clear. It's more advanced already than what ETH 2.0 is. And I still think Ethereum could even be around. This will just be a complementary network. But it could continue to grow. It could get up to, let's say you didn't even want at 100 billion. Let's just say we're at the market cap of Ethereum. And I know Ethereum's right at about, it's probably a little more than 500 billion is the market cap of Ethereum. Yeah, 488 now, 488. So 488 billion. Well, let's say 500 billion. You can see right here, that's a 1000x to be Ethereum's price. So if basically Casper was at 500 billion now, that would be $181 per. So that if you didn't even want to, if you wanted to pull your initial out at like $3 and just let the rest ride. Just let the rest ride. Remember, you pulled your profit out. You had 12,000 that you put into some passive income staking. So you're already up a lot. You're already up a lot at just $3, you know, $3.80. You let the rest ride till $180 at 10,000 that you let ride out to $181.02. You are rocking and rolling at $1.8 million. So I feel like this, to put things into perspective, why this is a fantastic, I feel like a fantastic investment right now. It's worth putting a few $1,000 into at these prices. It's worth putting a few grand into, letting it rise. Some people have more than that, you know. These prices, you could get 50, 100, 200,000 of them. And not financial advice, but hey, in just a few years, if not sooner, that could turn into a nice little reward. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I wanted to wrap this up because we're coming up on 25 minutes. If you enjoyed this video and you like me deep diving into this, there's more I could share. I'm going to link all of these articles in the description. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you like me doing these deep dive type videos. I like the ones, like I said, we can find ones where I can put a few $1,000 into right now in the price range, you know, of quality altcoins, and expect to hold those for a few years and see those massive 20, 50, 500, 1,000x gains, and just sit back and really enjoy life. This is financial freedom. Right now, I know the market is crazy. It's up, down. I'm in it for the long haul, though, and I'm not going to miss out like I missed out on Bitcoin and some of these earlier cryptos. I know some people have been in crypto, but right now, if you're watching this, and I know most of you are probably newer to crypto, you're not too late. These are, on this channel, we are going to do our best to give you those quality projects, help you understand it on a basic level so that you can take advantage of crypto and create generational wealth. So like I said, leave a like, subscribe to this channel. If you watch to the end of this video and I know that you're finding this helpful, then definitely be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to continue to put out these awesome videos, and I thank you, appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video.